Hey KC, welcome to Feel Good Fridays with the Kansas City Connector. I'm your host, Briana Blocker, but I go by Bree, your favorite local realtor at Kansas City Realty and a proud community relations specialist at Literacy KC. Now, every Friday, I'm here with feel good stories, local insights, and tips to help you connect with the best people in Kansas City. But today we're going to talk a little bit about myself and why I call myself the Kansas City Connector, why I chose to come to Kansas City in the first place. Excuse me, because it's a little awkward for me to be on camera. I'm not typically in front of the camera. I don't usually do this. So a little bit about myself. So my name is Briana Blocker, as you know, and obviously I'm in real estate and I love the community. But that was not always my story. I actually am from St. Louis.
I'm from the Loop and I'm proud, run a mile.
I'm just kidding. So I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I love St. Louis. It is rich with just culture, food, all the things that I know and love and have grown up with. A little bit of my life I lived in Minnesota, just very cold there. I'm a Midwestern girl through and through, so I love the Midwest. Now, do I see myself living here forever? Absolutely not. I love the Midwest, but I am just really sick and tired of the cold. But say all that to say, lived in St. Louis, went to school at University of Central Missouri, go Mules. I got my degree in digital media production. So right after I graduated, I went on to work at KMBC Channel 9 News, which was the time of my life. It was a great time, but it wasn't where I saw my life going. So I have tons of experience in like engineering, broadcast engineering, so camera work, editing, videos, audio engineering, things of that nature. It was a great experience. Again, just wasn't where I first saw my life going. And so after a few short years, maybe 3 or 4 years there, I decided to part ways with that company, and I went on to leasing. And through leasing and marketing and things of that nature, I fell into a love of real estate. And it wasn't more so like real estate, because I didn't grow up with the mindset that I'm gonna grow up to be a realtor, or even have the inkling. I didn't even think I had a desire. I don't even think I knew what it would be like to be a realtor. That was never a concern of mine. Like, I love the show Girlfriends, and yes, Tony Child's Realty, baby, all day. If I could be her, I would to this day. Still don't know how she got that bag. But I just didn't know. And so after leasing and getting my license, well, that was a hard part. I definitely, if you are looking to get your real estate license, God bless you, because it is no joke. Okay, it's easy for some, but hard for most. It is, what I understand, is equivalent to a first-year law degree student. And so it's a lot of just law and contracts and things of that nature when you take the class. Now, when you're in the business, it's a lot of networking. It's a lot of putting yourself out there. Like, again, your client is connecting with you. They can get that information from anywhere. And so I think this is the only career field that I've ever entered into that like didn't have a orientation. It didn't even have like a mentor that comes with it. Like, you really get into real estate and they're like, okay, bye, figure it out. So it's still a learning process, and I've been in it for about 5 years. But yeah, been here in Kansas City, I want to say about since 2017. I graduated in 2016, came here in 2017. So that's how I got into real estate when I got here. When I moved here, I didn't really know anybody. I encourage anybody, if you're new to a city, by all means, you are setting yourself up for success, because I feel like if you can do it once, you can do it again. And not to mention, you can reinvent yourself. You could be somebody completely different than who you were before. And that's not to say like change yourself and make yourself appeasing to someone else, but genuinely can reframe your life and decide what you want it to look like. And I feel like that's the reason why I probably would leave Kansas City as well, because I've been here for a long time. But when I moved here, all I knew was school, my friends at school, and work. I didn't have family here at the time. I didn't have friends really here at the time. I really had to decide, what do I want my life to look like? And so I think I just got like an extra job because I had the time at like Banana Republic. But I ended up meeting really great friends that I'm still friends with to this day. there. And I think God puts you in certain places for a reason. And so you meet the people in your life for a reason. You are in the spaces and places that you are for a reason, even if it doesn't feel like at that time. And so I think my journey here in Kansas City has been crazy. I met many loves here. I had my first child here. Getting my master's here. You know, I have really set a life here for myself. I built community. I have a church home. I have friends. I have family here now. That moved from from St. Louis. So my mom's here now. My sister's here. So yeah, it's a beautiful place. I love the culture. Let me not say culture. I love how homey it feels. Like, it really is. It feels like a city, but it really is like a small town feel. You have mom and pop restaurants here. You have the nonprofit community. Like, just community here entirely is so robust. I feel like people here really genuinely care and they want to help and make a difference. You do have people who are on the other side, and we'll talk about that in later videos, but I really want to dive deep into the history of Kansas City and like that red line divide, because there's history in that as well. But even with those negative aspects, you have such positivity here. I would say, before I even had my son, I said I would raise a family here, and I still obviously am standing true to that. But just the neighborhoods, the people, the community, the restaurants, the entrepreneurial spirit here. There are some things about Kansas City that I wish would be a little bit better. I feel like it's a city of great potential and also ideas and amazing people. However, I feel like the information here is also gatekept. I feel like if you know something, like you got the secret sauce, you want to hold it close. And to me, that's a scarcity mindset. That's the mindset of someone who doesn't think that abundance is out here for everybody. And I truly believe that. And again, I haven't been home in St. Louis in a long time, but what I can distinctly remember when I was there was, like I said, a bunch of times, the culture, the community, the willingness to really want to help somebody. It wasn't, oh, I see Johnny over there just opened a food truck and I want to learn from him, but I know he's not going to tell me. No, it's actually, I know Johnny, I actually know his family, and they will take on the mentor role easily and actually teach me how to do it and help me do it. I don't get that vibe here in Kansas City, and y'all can cancel me already if you want to. Sad face, but that was just my experience. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm speaking for myself. So again, I moved here right out of college. Didn't have an idea of how life works. I was so young. But I feel like I really built a life for myself. I know people in the city now. I know the hot spots to go to. I know the restaurants better than the people who lived here their whole life, might I add. My best friends have come from here. She left me. She's in New York now. Shout out to Valerie K. She's doing great things. But I genuinely do love the city. And like I said, that's how I got into real estate, how I got into the community space when I was at KMBC. I took a lot of the work home, and you know, you shouldn't have to do that. I did, and it wasn't always great, and so I needed a release. I needed something that just took my mind off of work, and so I used the app Meetup, and so I would go to a lot of these events. I think at some of these events that I was going to and these meetup groups that I was going to, I was like, oh, I do like volunteering. I volunteered a lot when I was a kid and in high school, so I was like, let me just volunteer at some local spaces. And so Operation Breakthrough was one of the spaces that I volunteered at, and then Literacy KC. At the time in 2017, they were located somewhere on Armour Boulevard, so in the inner city, really small office, wasn't the best. They upgraded. They ended up actually partnering with Operation Breakthrough to rent spaces in their location on 31st and Truce, and so we had been there for like 7 or so years. More recently, we're now at Park 39, and again, just my time here in Kansas City has really been full circle. Every job, every opportunity, every person I met, I am still in communication with, and they have expanded my network of influence, and it's been so crazy. And so I'm so appreciative of the people that have been in my life, because they have given me opportunities that I probably wouldn't have had I not been in certain rooms. And so starting off as a volunteer, I guess I did such a great job. I ended up becoming an instructor for like their kids reading program. And it's so funny, at the time I was like, I don't even like kids. ended up loving them. And it was like, dang, you know, this is something I just genuinely enjoy doing. And so I always kind of had them in my back corner, even when I was doing leasing and marketing. And then someone from their leadership team reached out randomly, and it was so perfect because at that time I was not happy with the position that I was in at the job that I was at, and I was looking for something. And they offered more money and just opportunity, and you know, it was just the better work environment. I already knew the people, and so I took on that certain program and made it my own. I mean, I loved it. I made such impact in the community. I built such great relationships that are lasting to this very day. In fact, before I even came to the studio, I had lunch with someone that I had met while I was doing that program, meeting next week with one of the principals of the schools that I used to work with. So just really set myself up for success. And since then, they have sunsetted that program, but they have given me other opportunities. So now I'm focused more on like donor cultivation, fundraising. And it's crazy because right now I am getting my MBA in marketing at Avila University. Your girl doing all the things, but it's so closely related to what I'm doing right now. And so that's why I say God works in amazing ways, and he never makes any mistakes. So even if you, side note, you know, are in a space in your life where you feel like, man, this is pointless. I don't even know why I'm going to this job I don't like. I don't know why I'm in this relationship with this person that I don't like. Just anything. It's for a reason. God does nothing just because. Everything is intentional with God. And I truly believe that. And all the things in my life, at least, have been showing up. And it's a true testament to God's intention on my life. So, like I said in my reel, if you want to hear about God and you want to hear about inspiration, you're in the right place. If you don't, and you don't want to hear positivity, you're going over there. Okay? Thank you. Now, that's why I came here. It's a little bit about me and my background. Now, what does feel good mean to me? Feel good means peace. It means something that, like, you know, when you take a bite of some really good food after a long day, you hungry, and it's that food you've been craving. For me, it's crab legs. So I dip it in my sauce and I'm like, that's what feel good means. And it doesn't always apply to food. I'm just a foodie. But that's the feeling that I get. You know, the feeling of when you do something nice for somebody else and they are so appreciative of it, and you're like, you know what, that felt good to give that gift away or give that man that money and I knew he needed it or whatever. Because that's the law of reciprocity. That's the law of the world. You give, you're going to receive. And so that's what feel good means to me. That whether I'm giving information, whether I'm giving monetary value, whether I'm giving my time, you know what I'm saying? That's what giving looks like. And as my pastor's always talking about in church, what does your fruit look like? You know, the story in the Bible of the fig tree. What does your fruit look like? And I always talk about that. Like, can people see the love of God in me when they talk to me, when they experience me, when they're around me? I want you to feel good. I love putting a smile on people's faces. Like, seriously, I love when I'm talking to my son and he just puts this little gummy smile. He don't have no teeth yet, so I call it the gummy smile. And he's just cracking up. It makes me feel good when I can do something nice for somebody and it brings a tear to their eye or it puts a smile on their face or it helps them. It makes me feel good. And so that's genuinely what I want to do with this platform. I feel like in the past I had Think Illuminate, which was like a blog I did. It was something I wanted to do in the past to shine light on artists in the city. Because again, at the time I was very heavily in the media world, in the artsy world. I was dating at the time like a model. And so I think for that time, it served its purpose. And it was amazing because I did get a following, and it was just something that I can do to release. Like writing and reading are things that I like to do to make me feel good. But with this platform, I want to be a little bit more intentional. I wanted to tie both my life together entirely. I felt like a lot of my life was separate. If you knew me, you either knew me for only real estate, or you only knew me for the nonprofit, or you only knew me from church, or you only know me as a parent. It's like, girl, let's encompass every aspect of your life so that way it's all balanced. At some point in my life, it would be heavy real estate. So I was really heavily focused on real estate. Then I got pregnant with my son, and so it was heavily focused on my pregnancy and my son. And then started school, so it's like heavily focused on my marketing degree. And you know, I just wanted it to feel like all areas of my life were meshing together cohesively. And so that's why I'm bringing you this platform. I have made so many connections. I have been making so many connections with networking in my job, networking in my business, you know, networking in my personal life. And so I think for me, it just made me feel good to want to bring them all together. And so that's why I'm here. And that's what feel good means for me. And hopefully when you come here, you can feel good too, with information, with whatever. So what can listeners expect each Friday? Honestly, expect a good time, honey. I'm gonna have some guest co-hosts on here next week. I actually have the honor of speaking with one of my good friends at Chase Bank. His name is Rico Khan. He's a financial advisor, and he works in the community as well. His goal is really to get financial literacy out to spaces and places and people who are not understanding of that. Black people have a problem with money in this world, and we don't talk about it enough. We are the number one consumers, but we are low when it comes to home ownership. We are low when it comes to good credit scores. We are low when it comes to savings. We are low when it comes to businesses, like ownership, all those things. And where all this money coming from that we spending on, you know what I'm saying? So I just really want to highlight financial literacy. That's something that is so important to me. It's something that I'm still working on myself. A question that I pose to you guys, and if you're watching it this far, definitely comment down below. How do you view money? Someone asked me that recently, or like, what is your relationship with money? And I was like, oh, toxic. It's a little toxic. So when you really sit down and think about, like, dang, when I'm broke, how do I get money? Do I go into my savings account? Do I go to a title loan place? Do I, you know, it's so many different things that we should talk about. Not just homeownership, but credit, budgeting, saving, you know what I'm saying? Retirement, life insurance. The list is endless. And so hopefully next week you guys tune in. It's definitely a conversation I can't wait to have, but it's not always going to be so serious. You know, some Fridays I just want to talk about Halloween movies. Sometimes I just want to talk about food. I might have, I don't know, a masseuse on talking about their services. It just really doesn't matter. It's here to serve its purpose for all the things. Me connecting you with the resources that you need, whether that be financial literacy, whether that be health literacy, whether that be a good restaurant to go to with your friends and family that come into town, whether that be festivals that are year round. It really just depends on the day, you know? Usually I'm going to delegate a time for questions. It's going to be called Ask the Connector segment. So if you have any burning questions, if you have something that maybe you want to talk about next week about financial literacy, I implore you, please direct message me, comment down below, text me if you have my number, which I'm sure most people do. So just a reminder, listen to whatever, you know, the previous episode in order to know what's coming next, and then you can drop your comments down below. And then Casey, shout out. So shout out to Ryan Wooden, guys. He is the one who let me use this platform, this studio, this mic setup, the lights, everything. He is amazing. I have known Ryan now for maybe 2 or 3 years. We actually met because he was working, I forget the company, but Ryan Wooden was working for a loan officer. He was like the community relations specialist. Went out into the community, met all these awesome realtors, and connected them with a loan officer. Well, he ended up growing and just blowing up, and so now he has several loan officers under him, and now he has his own space and office, and in his office he has this studio that he allows Kansas City realtors to use, other realty companies in the city to use, and it's just a great place and space for us to get our content created. And so shout out to you, Ryan, for even allowing us to use this, because I had no idea how I was gonna make a way, and you made it possible for me. So shout out to you. He's with Leader One, also owns, obviously, like I said, the KenCity.com, I love KenCity.com studio. He's doing amazing things in the city, literally growing his name, his brand, his team, and making Kansas City great every day. So shout out to you, Ryan. That's really it for this episode. It was a really short episode. I just wanted to talk to you guys, reintroduce myself, let you know who I am, a little bit about my background, and what I intend to do with this platform. So thanks for tuning in to this week's Feel Good Friday. If you love this episode, please share it with a friend, leave a comment, leave a review, DM me. If you see me down the street, just say, hey girl, you're doing a good job. I definitely appreciate it. And let me know what local sports stories or a local business I should feature next. You can always find me on Instagram. I am only operating off of my @Blocker Real Estate Instagram right now. I do have a personal Instagram. I'm just not using it at this time. And Facebook, same. I believe it's Briana Blocker on Facebook or Blocker Real Estate. I do have a TikTok. I have a love-hate with TikTok. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm gonna do better. If you find me on TikTok, don't laugh. That's all I gotta say. And in the future, I plan to share these videos on YouTube. Stay tuned for that. Until next time, Casey, stay connected, stay kind, keep making the city feel like home, and have a great day on purpose.